What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. We are coming to you this morning from Oconee Point Campground, just outside Seneca, South Carolina. Getting ready to go for my morning ruck. I'm going to take you guys with me, show you this awesome campground. So Oconee Point Campground is a Corps of Engineers campground. If you've seen anything from our channel, you know that we love Corps of Engineer campgrounds. They're inexpensive, they're always located by the water, and these are the kind of sites that you can expect at a lot of them. So this is site 13 that we are in, and you can see, man, it doesn't get a whole lot better than this. Got steps here that go down. This is your actual camp area here, and it just looks right out over the lake. Absolutely beautiful site. One of the best sites we've had in a long time. So this loop that we're on back here, there's only two sites in this little section. It's site 13 that we're in, and then also site 12. So site 12 is a buddy site. Means there's actually two sites. So if you book site 12, it's going to be more expensive, but they give you two sites right side by side. So you can see, you get this whole section, you also get this whole section, and then they also give you a parking area here. So we'll walk over here to the back, just show you guys these views. Man, I mean, this is the kind of view you have at just about every site here at Oconee Point. All right, so now we're going to walk up by the front. There's actually multiple loops here. See, I think there would be actually like 4 loops here at this campground. So there's quite a bit of area to see. I'm going to walk up there. We'll show you the front where you come in, and then show you all the loops. All right, so this is going to be what you see as you come in. There's your check-in gate. Come in and see the sign here. So 70 sites at this campground. So we'll start, you come in, you take a left, and this takes you right down to sites 61 through 70. So I'm gonna go a little bit out of order, but since I'm walking it, this is gonna start at basically the front of the campground, and then we'll end up all the way in the back where our site is. So just a little bit of information about this campground while we're getting back here to these sites. It's pretty standard for a Corps of Engineer campground. There's going to be 2 dump stations. There's a little one up here on this loop that we're walking now by sites 61 through 70. So we'll show you that. It's a small dump station. And then there's a bigger dump station going toward the back, and it's actually a double dump station. So makes it nice to try to get people in and out of here. This place does get busy. It's not far from Clemson. Clemson had a football game this past weekend, so this place was packed with football fans. The way the dump stations are set up, they have bathhouses throughout the campground, so it's set up really well. And we're just about over here to these sites. So all of these sites here are sites 61 through 68, and 69 and 70 are further down here on the corner. And then as you come back up from the campsites, as you leave, you just come right up, and then they've got the dump station here, and then it loops around, so you can just head right out to the exit. So the next section is going to be sites 43 through 60. So this is coming straight in from the guard gate. So it's going to go straight down. It's going to loop around behind these trees on the lake. And we'll go show you those sites. All right, so as we get down here, site 43 is a camp host spot. 44, the next one that we're coming up on here, this is their ADA site. And you can see it's all concrete. So it's got a full concrete pad. Again, overlooks the cove back here. Beautiful, beautiful little site. And then bathhouse right across. And this place is surprisingly full. I mean, this is a Tuesday morning, and man, there's still a ton of people here enjoying this campground. It's a beautiful spot. Down at the very end is a swimming area. It's 50 degrees this morning, so I don't think that'd be a very popular spot. And you loop around. And then this is a very, very popular section of the campground here, because all these sites kind of parallel the water. So people bring their boats. If you have a boat, you can pull right up, almost right up to your site. And all these sites right here in this section are in the 50s. So 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, and 56. And then there's a few areas like this in this campground. There's quite a few little spots where they just have a couple of sites that branch off, kind of like back where we are, where 12 and 13 are. 57 and 58 are kind of on this little loop that goes around by themselves. But again, right on the water. And this site we're coming up on here is 59. They had the lake drawn down quite a bit right now. I don't know if that's by design or not. I would imagine it would be, but the water's pretty far away from the sites. But we'll walk down here in site 60, so you guys can see how high this water does get on these sites sometimes. This is 60. And this is a huge site. Man, this thing backs way down here. Give you some nice steps to get right down to the area. And you can see, so right now we see that our water is out here, but it actually, when it's all the way up, you can definitely see the line, the shoreline where that water comes to, and it's only, that's probably 40 feet, 50 feet from the back of this site. All right, so now we head back to the back section. All right, so now we're walking back to the section where sites 1 through 42 are located, and those are going to be split up on a couple different loops as well. Here's the dump station. So this is looking backwards up the dump station, but a nice big area, plenty of room to get 2 RVs in there side by side, so that both of you can dump and be on your way. All right, so as you get down to the very end of this road, sites 1 through 17 are going to be down to the right. But before we head down there, we're going to go down and show you guys where sites 18 and 20 are located first, and then we'll loop around down here on the back side of this loop and show you the lakefront spots over there. So again, here's another little section where there's just a couple of sites off by themselves. So you just come in, take the little access road, and that'll take you down to where sites 18 and 20 are. And again, right on the lake, just like everything else around here. Awesome lake views everywhere. And here's the other end of that loop. So you go in down there, you loop around, and you got 18, 19, and 20 right here. So as you go past those sites, we come up on the section where we're going to turn off to go to sites 21 to 42. And also, this is where the boat ramp is located. big boat ramp, actually a really nice boat ramp. Plenty of trailer parking down here. So we just keep going down here, boat ramps down at the end. So we'll go down and look at sites 21 through 24. These are the sites that start to get a little tricky. There's not a ton of them here that are tricky, but they're pull-throughs. But as you can see, the entry and exit are pretty tight to these. So even though the actual length of the site might be long enough to fit your RV, entry and exit to those sites is a little tough. So we're looking at site 23 right here, and so you have to go down here, make a U-turn in a little cul-de-sac, and then as you come in, it's a pretty steep to get down, make a turn, and get parallel in your sight. If you could get past that, exit's not really a big deal. It's a pretty straight shot up the hill on the exit, but if you can make it work, I mean, look at that view you're going to get. I mean, you're going to open your windows in the morning, open your door, and be looking straight out on the lake. All these sites kind of parallel the water, so can be a little tricky. So some of the pull-throughs are definitely a little more suited for a little smaller rigs for sure. So that was 21 through 24. Now 25 through 42. 25 is fine. You just kind of pull down this little access road and then back it straight in. And 27 is kind of the same way. You come through the little access road, and there's a pull through behind the trees. A little bit straighter shot, so that one wouldn't be quite as bad. And then from there, all the back end spots, starting at like 28, 29, 30, all these back end spots on this side, from 28 on up are going to be fine, no issues getting into any of these spots. So here you can see these are all spots that are in the 30s and all the way up to the last spot up here in the site 40, 41 here on the end that we'll show you. All just very straightforward. Pull through, just pull up on the road, back straight in. They're kind of on an angle, so it's not anything tricky to back into any of these spots. And if you have a boat, you're pulling up right here, close to your campsite right here. So this is the end of that row, site 40, and site 41 here is the last one. And you can see they're just very straightforward, nothing tricky. But man, some awesome sites. And this is a very popular section. This section's been full just about the whole time we've been here. Actually, it looks like it goes to 42 down here. So we'll walk down here into site 42 and give you a view from that one since it's empty. So there we go, site 42. You just pull straight up this way and back straight down into your site. And awesome. Another awesome view of the lake. I mean, I don't think there's really a bad site in this whole campground, to be honest. And you can see here even better how close the water gets. I mean, we're like 15 feet behind the site here, so the water can get way up here, and then you would have real waterfront site. Swimming area over there across the other side of the cove. All right, so we've covered all those sites starting at the front, working to the back. The higher number ones are in the front, lower number ones are in the very, very back. Just over 2 miles in, so head on back to sites 1 through 17. A couple of those are a little tricky pull-throughs, kind of like the ones we just showed you. Really suited for smaller rigs, even though the actual site might be long enough for 25, 30 foot, even a 35-foot RV. If it's a pull through and there's a real steep entry and a steep exit, might not be the best site, but we'll show them to you. So while we're headed back here to sites 1 through 17, just want to mention that the way we have found some of the most awesome Corps of Engineer campgrounds in every state that has them available anyway, is with the Corps of Engineers book. If you don't have the Corps of Engineers book, I highly recommend you get it. I'll leave a link in the description. Actually, I'll go ahead and link it right here above. Click on that link, it'll take you to the Corps of Engineers book. You're gonna find every Corps of Engineers campground in every state. We have a video on just that book specifically. If you like Corps of Engineer campgrounds, that's by far the best way to find them. I mean, you just look up the state, it'll give you every Corps of Engineer campground in that state if there's one available. Gives you the price, tells you what amenities they have. Some of them are only dry camping, some of them do have full hookups. So it's an easy way to quickly find them instead of scouring recreation.gov and going through each one to see if it has what you're looking for. So again, I'll leave a link to that. I know I'm huffing and puffing a bit. I apologize for that. Man, this is quite a hike around this campground. So, especially with the rucksack on. So, good workout this morning and showing you guys a beautiful campground. And here we are at site 1. Doesn't look like much, but that's because it's a pull-through site, so you can't really see the campsite from here. You're gonna pull in, loop around behind the trees, and then your site is back here where you see this RV located. So it's a little deceiving. It's a really big site, but there's not a lot of it that's usable, and you would definitely need a smaller RV to be able to use that one. Another one where there's a few sites by themselves. Sites 2 and 3 are down here. So we'll walk down here and look at this. So site 2 is again one that's kind of down here by itself. So it's pretty nice. You don't have any neighbors really. I mean, that RV up there is in site 3. This one up here behind the trees is in site 1. So if you get in here, you're going to be all by yourself back in this little cove with just a beautiful lake view. Easy to get into. Come down the hill, you can pull straight up here and you're backing straight into your site. So super easy access into site 2. Site 3, the access isn't really terrible. You do have to kind of go up a little hill in order to back into your site, so not quite as easy as site 2, but not terrible. So sites 4 through 8 are down here in this little section. So these are all back on a point. So there's really no way to turn around down here. So you really gotta kind of go down and be able to make a tight turn to get into your site. So 4 through 7, really tight, better suited for small rigs for sure. And then 8 is a nice big pull through. So even though 8's listed as a pull through, it's a very awkward pull through from that angle. So you may be better off to just come around the corner and then just back straight down the hill into your site. And then we have site 9, 10's up here, the next one. Awesome view. They sit there and parallel the lake, so you get some awesome views from those sites as well. Site 11, easy pull through. We already showed you guys 12 and 13 in the very beginning. That's where our site is, but this is how you're going to get into that. You have to make that whole loop around and then come in this way 12 again is the buddy site that we showed you at the very beginning. And we are in 13. The way I got into site 13 with our fifth wheel, we're 34 feet. I did not go down here and make that really tight turn. I just stayed on the main road out here and just pulled straight up. And then that gave me a much easier, a much straighter shot. Just had to cut it a little bit and then was able to back it straight down the hill into our site. And here we have size 14 through 16. So 14 is way down there on the point. So you kind of pull way down there and have to back in. Tricky if you're in a big rig for sure. You probably have to pull around the road and back it all the way down on the point to get to 14. 15 not bad. 16 is a pull through. And then the very last site back here in this section is site 17. It's not hard to get into either. You can just stay out on the main road, pull way up, and then have a, I mean, you do have to kind of come down this hill a little bit, but it's not terrible. And that'll back you right in there and you'll be the last site back in this cove. All right guys, that's it. That is a look at Oconee Point Campground. I'm back here at our fifth wheel now. For the record, if you decide to walk this entire campground, every single loop, you will clock in at 2.91 miles, so just a tick under 3 miles to walk everything. So it is quite a hike around here, but man, the views are phenomenal. This is a super popular campground. I really like the way a lot of these campsites kind of branch off and there's just a few kind of down there by themselves. So definitely do your research. If you're looking at the pull-through sites, you're going to want to really make sure that it's not one of those ones we pointed out. Depending on how big your rig is, the entry and the exit to some of those can be a little tricky. So definitely just be aware of that. And other than that, I think you'll really enjoy yourself if this is the kind of campground you like. That's going to do it for now. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you guys down the road.